Let's talk a little bit about variables. They hold values, and they are assigned values through statements or expressions. So, for example, you may have a variable named x, and it's assigned the value of 8. You may have a variable called y, and it's going to be assigned to whatever the variable value is for x, which let's just say in this case is 8. So we would say 8 plus 2 is 10, so that variable value will be 10. It's important to remember that the left side of the statement or expression should be the variable name that's going to hold the value in memory. As you execute the program lines, as the program runs, it will store the value of those variables in memory. And we'll see that in just a second as well. So in that case, as the program processes, you can actually change the value of variables as the program is executed. The variable values can be numbers, they can be calculations such as this. It can also be text. And as far as variable names, for example, here we're using x and y. We want to be a little more descriptive about those, but I'll talk about that in just a minute. In this case, let's go in and start this program. This is going to be what our ultimate program will look like. So the first line to be executed, let's say in this part of the program, is x equals 5. So I'm going to start that, and it's going to, as it goes through the program and sets up those values, it's going to add those values in the memory of the program for each variable. The first statement is x equals y. It's going to assign the value of 5 to that slot in memory for variable x. And this will execute a couple of other lines here. So what it's done is y is equal to x. So the value of x is 5. So it's going to assign that value to y and place that in memory. Here we have z, and it's equal to x plus 2. So the value of z will be x, which is 5. I'm just going to pull that into the calculation and add 2. So therefore z, the variable assigned to that, or the value assigned to that variable, will be 7. Now the last line of the program is x equals 3. Well, x was 5. So what it's going to do is replace that value of 5 and remove that, and replace that with the value of 3. So in that case, you have changed the value of variable x with a different assignment statement in the program. So as far as, so as far as the variable names, let's go back to that, because here we're using x, y, and z, and those don't really tell you what those variables are in the program. So your variable names, they also call them identifiers, should be descriptive, and they are case sensitive. So if you have capital My, capital Name as a variable name in Python, it is not the same as all lowercase my name. Those would be looked at as two different variable names. A couple of rules for variable names. They must begin with a letter or an underscore, which I think is odd to start with an underscore, but you can. You cannot start with a number. It can be a mix of letters, numbers, and underscores, as long as you don't start it with a number, and you can't use special characters in those as well. The other rule for variable names is it cannot be Python reserved words that are used for particular functions or particular tasks in Python. So for example, print is used in Python as a function to print something, so you cannot use that as a variable name. So there are some examples here, but just remember that those reserved words also cannot be identifier or variable names.